So, in its expression, we were walking along the beautiful beach this evening, watching an amazing sunset, or an exchange of energy as we transition into a new expression or phase of space-time consciousness. But I was commenting and understanding how, in itself, within our awakening, as we're coming to awaken within this aspect of the sleeping, all of us being asleep from our dream time, but awakening to full dream time as full consciousness of our beings, and coming into the expression, the line that Naka says that he will be here when the giants come. In itself, it's sat with me numerous times, is that expression of inner earth, expression of the Garthan network, an expression of all coming back to this space-time creation within this new transformation and spiritual rising of consciousness here in the new earth. But as we were walking along the beach in the evening and looked over at the sand and the different levels or expressions of the sand and the way that the ocean and the waters have formed various things along various aspects of the banks of the sands, or various profile perspectives. And as soon as I looked at the one aspect of expression, the one wrinkle in sand, if you will, it immediately took me back to looking as a temple, as a sacred aspect, a site within Egypt. But then I started looking further along the profile of the sand along the bank, and you could see in so many ways a representation of the cities, of the cliff dwellings, of the aspects of Arizona, New Mexico, and these ways of these cultures in itself really, the way the profile of the sands themselves actually looked exactly like these villages, like these homes within the cliff sides and everything. And it came to me immediately, the expressions of the words came to me that we will be here when the giants come.
For the work.
Oh, okay. Right, thank you. And within that, it was wondering, or not wondering itself, but it really brought a full perspective as to that we are the sleeping giants in itself, that we are the giants that are here to come, that I will be here when the giants come, because we will all be here, because as we awaken from the sleeping giants that we are, from the sleepiness of our dream, that in itself is a macro, microcosmic expression, that we are in a way also the macro giants of the expression in the world, how on a micro scale in itself you have other sentient beings in regard to various energies or plants or animals in itself, or even the ant in itself, that we're walking or experience this surface earth expression as the giants. And as more and more things come to awaken and enlighten within our DNA, we're starting to activate more that come through the expression of inner earth, through that expression of our heart space, allowing to reformulate into a newer cycle of consciousness, newer cycle of energy that is brought forth through all of these ways of the Garthic network. And as we come to align within the Garthic network, with the powers of our consciousness and the power of our light bodies and the freeness and abundance of our sovereign beings in itself, that it also, in a way, it is us coming to those abilities and those expressions within it, but we're purifying and awakening those things within our heart space. So as more beings and people in itself express and come to feel within their heart space and heal within that heart space, they start to activate the DNA of that expression, because as we activate and heal within our heart space, we awaken the DNA memory connections, we awaken the light frequencies of our hearts, the light frequencies of our DNA, of our spiritual being. So as we're doing that, we're activating in our light bodies, we're activating in the crystallization of our light bodies. And as we are ascending within that aspect of it, and we are here to ground in, because you're grounding in that crystallization grid, that crystalline grid around the earth in itself. So as beings are born or incarnated every day, they're being grounded in a physical body here on the earth in itself. So they're being awakened within itself, but yet also by just being born within that aspect, or incarnated again. If there's new beautiful beings born, that is wonderful and being for the new star seeds and the children that are here. But even as we awaken in every moment, we awaken in every day from the sleep, but yet you awaken with the morning light, and within that aspect of it, and you awaken again, and you ground in that energy, you're grounding in that consciousness, you're grounding in that expression, you're walking upon Mother Earth. More and more giants as us as human beings are awakening within that, and they're anchoring that light crystallization and that light frequency. So all this and much more was just seen off the observance of a profile in a sand, and understanding, seeing how as a micro, macro cosmic expression, that was an expression of our ancestors in a lot of ways that are part of our inner earth. So by seeing those structures or those cliffs and those ancestral energies within our Akash on the profile of the sand, and seeing, hey, that was a microcosmic scale, and we were seeing it as a giant, as on a macrocosmic scale within the expression of my body as a size comparison to the profile of the ancestors along the sand. But then I'm seeing that as a micro scale. It came into the reflection of my consciousness, and as we rise within more of that actually they are going to awaken more in itself, and they are going to become more macrocosmic, become bigger in itself, and expand within our conscious space. So give thanks to the sacred medicine in that which we partake, and exchange our energy and our love within this space. So we give thanks to all the creation. Thank you for the message and the download, and look forward to sharing more. Aho matakia yasan. Warnata kamayo.